Usher State 2. I really appreciate your ministry and all you do. It's just so important for us. I met with several of the ushers the other day, and things have changed since then. Now, of course, we're going to ask the ushers, as you're here greeting people, that you would have a mask on. Now, I do want to warn you, and I want you to be aware of this. You might be aware, you might not be aware. You know, there are some people who are adamantly against wearing masks, and what they will argue, what some of the people argue, and it's not an invalid argument, what they argue is if you're wearing a mask, and germs can get on the mask. And so if you touch your mask, those germs can get on your hands. So you're wearing the mask, things don't get directly, but then it's on your hands. You could rub your eyes, you could rub your mouth, you could rub your nose, and then you could get infected if you have the COVID virus on your mask and you touch it and then touch yourself. It's a danger. So it's important when you first come, keep the mask on until we get mass started. I would prefer if you could wear it all the time, but that's not necessary. But when you're in church doing things, you have to have the mask on. If you're going to be anywhere near breathing on people, you need to have the mask on. So we'll have the mask on, but if you don't feel comfortable, but I will tell you, after the beginning of Mass, after people come in, if you help them find a seat in that, if you want to take it off, you can do that. But if you do it, don't touch the mask itself. Touch the straps. Grab it by the strap, take it off, and make sure you don't touch the mask. Or if you do touch the mask, purify your hands. We have Purell here in the gathering space. Make sure we want you to be safe. I appreciate your ministry. We want you to be safe. We want everybody you minister to be safe. Now, what the change was in communion was we were going to have people go up the middle aisle like we always have. But we're changing that. Why? Because that 6 feet that we had to block off from the aisle, that was a lot of people who couldn't get in the church. So now we're going to block off about 2.5 feet. And people will need to walk down the center of the aisle when they're going to the pew. Okay? When you go places, don't walk right along the pew, walk down the center of the aisle so that you're a distance from everybody who's in church. So what the Eucharistic ministers are going to do now is they are going to come to the pews, they're going to go, there's an empty pew between every row of people. They're going to go through that empty pew and give communion. You do not have to lead people to communion. So you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to be escorting people to communion. You're not going to have to pass the collection basket. So we have a collection basket. You see I have it on a table here in the gathering space. When people come in, they'll drop their collection basket in, their collection envelope in the basket. One of the ushers must be in the gathering space watching the basket. Okay? There's some unscrupulous people out there. So we need you to be watching the basket to make sure nobody takes anything out or nobody picks up the basket and takes off with it. Now most people do checks, most people, but there is cash, and people today, some people are desperate and they might run off. So we need an usher to be watching the basket. So whenever you do anything else, make sure one of you is in the gathering space keeping an eye on the basket. Once Mass gets started, so once everybody comes into church, we're going to have the doors propped open. We're going to check people in. Once we get started and everybody's here, close the doors. Okay? We can't just have people coming in. People have to have a reservation for Mass. Now I know that sounds strange, but we have to keep social distancing. We don't want any people to be overwhelmed with the crowd and then people get exposed to the virus here and have a problem. So we will need to close the doors of the church after the Mass gets started. Now when the Eucharistic minister, one of the Eucharistic ministers is going to be going out to the parking lot. So that person will go, they'll prop the door open so they can get back in. They'll have to prop the door open so they can get back in. After they give communion, they'll come back in, and if you could close the door behind them. When people are coming, we'll have these 2 outer doors closed. We're not going to have the center doors open. So the door, as you're approaching the church on the left, will be propped open. The door, as you're approaching the church on the right, will be propped open. The inner doors will be propped open. We don't want people to have to touch the handles. So again, we don't want you to have to touch the handles. We want other people to have to touch the handles. We do have Purell inside the church so people can purify their hands in case they have to touch something for whatever reason. Again, we want you to be safe. We want everybody else in church to be safe. There is no offertory procession, so you don't have to get people to bring up the gifts. There is no passing of the collection baskets. Everybody's going to drop it in as they come into church. So once Mass gets started, you can take the basket, a couple of you, put the things in, put another basket here just in case somebody comes in late, just in case. So put it out, and then when this basket is empty, put this basket back out again. So again, if you touch the basket, purify your hands. You put the money in the bags, afterwards purify your hands. We want you to be safe. We want everybody to be safe. Again, thank you so much for your ministry. God bless you.